So I want to talk about two heartbreaking finishes in the SEC where the team that should have won didn't win as they were trying to pull upsets over teams that recruit better than them. And then obviously those two games for me were Arkansas and Missouri. Now, what's really interesting is I felt Arkansas was the better team. As many of you that watched this game know, A&M got very lucky to even be in this one because of one very crucial error that happened early in the game. And it's actually something that kind of sort of happened in the Missouri game as well. Now, I want you Arkansas fans to remember this play right here, and we're going to come back to it a little bit later. So after jumping out to a 14-0 lead, Missouri stormed back thanks to Auburn's really poor coaching. They couldn't put any more points on the board for the rest of the game, and this was just an incredible throw and catch. Now, there is a debate amongst fans in this Missouri game if they made the mistake of settling for a game-winning field goal in this spot. And guess what? They actually made the right decision. I understand the college kicker thing, but this is Mevis, the thicker kicker. He is one of the best kickers in the SEC. This ball is dead center, and you just gotta kind of sort of trust your kicker to make this kick, okay? And as you'll see here, he just shanked it to the right. So man, it looked like that ball was going to still be good. Now, it didn't help that the Ricky Stromberg snap at center wasn't his absolute best, but I'm just going to say this, and it might be painful for Razorback fans to take this in. There is no SEC matchup where one team has more bad luck than the other. I mean, once again, just look at where this ball actually hit. Okay, it hit the top corner of the post, okay? So whether it be a Dan Skipper leg whip penalty that takes away a game-sealing touchdown that allowed A&M to come back 5-ish years ago, or whether it be all the overtime shenanigans, for some reason or another, Texas A&M in this building just has the absolute best luck against Arkansas. But this is what Razorback fans have to answer. How much of this was your fault? How much of this could you have changed? Because, as one player, Jadon Haselwood, eloquently points out, there were more plays than just this one.
We left plays on the field. I left plays on the field. So it's not his fault. I mean, the game should have never been in his hands anyway.
So you can't really blame the field goal kickers, right? You can't really allow the game to come down to the foot of a college kicker, okay? And truth be told, this was a game in which the Auburn Tigers, for the second time, jumped off sides on a missed kick. Now, the thing is, Carlson wasn't even close. The offsides had no bearing on this kick in overtime, but it was allowed to be re-kicked, and Missouri made the same mistake earlier in the game. So really only Missouri had themselves to blame. They missed one field goal. They obviously allowed Carlson to have a re-kick. He made the second re-kick. So teams just need to quit reaching for the goal line, okay? This is a brutal way to lose, and this is senior Nathaniel Peat. And the most impressive thing was actually this block right here on Auburn's best player, Derek Hall. They were able to seal him to the inside, and this opens up this wide open rushing lane for Nathaniel Peat to run right through, okay? And all he has to do right here is boots on the ground, touchdown, but he loses his balance right here, and instead of just diving to the pylon with two hands on the football, he reaches for it, and he loses it before the guy even hits him, and then, of course, that is a game-sealing touchback. And you'll see it right here, okay? So this is why you should never reach for the pylon unless it is fourth down and it's a do-or-die touchdown situation, right? It's because, let's just say Nathaniel Peat doesn't reach for the pylon there and decides to just try and run the football into the end zone. Well, let's just say you're tackled at the 1-inch line or the 1-yard line or even the 2-yard line. It's 1st and goal from the 2, and that gives you 3, maybe 4 opportunities to score a touchdown. So this is especially inexcusable to do this on this type of run, especially when you had the opportunity here to potentially dive with 2 hands on the ball for the pylon or just run it in yourself, right? If you just go in strong, he might knock you into the end zone. He probably knocks you into the end zone the way he hit you, and you score the touchdown anyway. So the big coaching point here that I think teams need to start making, and trust me, I look at every LSU snap, they did this versus they didn't actually fumble, but they reached towards the goal line on a 1st down run. The thing is, the value proposition for you as an offensive player and you as a team is not worth it, right? Because when you lose this ball right here and it is a touchback, obviously in this case because it's overtime and ends the game, but let's just say this happened earlier in the game. If this is a touchback, this bails the defense out. Not only do they get a stop that they really didn't make, and it was a self-inflicted fumble wound, the ball automatically goes to the 20-yard line, and it takes away 3 other opportunities for you as an offense to bang it into the end zone, right? So you should never, ever, ever reach with the football raw like that, just with like one hand, ever, and that should be coached, and some coaching staffs actually do this. Now, I know it's natural for a runner to try and score every single time, but right here, only bad things. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you. Okay, Razorback Nation. I know it is tough. You already know what I'm about to say, but I'm actually going to talk about the man who deserves some of the blame, and it's actually, well, the guy you heard from earlier, Jadon Haselwood. We'll talk about that in just a second. But this is essentially the same thing, right? KJ Jefferson, when you jumped, or when he decided to jump in this situation, if this is the first time you've seen the play, I know what you're saying. Why would you even think to do that? There needs to be a discussion, and maybe this was asked in the post-game press conference, if KJ Jefferson was coached to try and hurdle into the end zone in that spot. I mean, it's crazy to think about. Trying to jump in from 4 yards out, and that was just a really heads-up play right there to hand the football off to score the touchdown. First thing, and this is not necessarily directed towards Sam Pittman or Elijah Drinkowitz. This is just in general. You've got to tell your players to not try and reach for the goal line, especially if you're KJ Jefferson. Because in this spot, jumping actually takes away KJ's biggest attribute as a runner, which is a power runner. As you can see, 24 did a good job getting his hands on the football. Shamar Stewart, the 5-star, holding the point of attack right there, also helped out. But KJ Jefferson's biggest attribute is his physicality. And by jumping and going airborne, you take away what you do best, which is running through people and pushing piles forward. Now, here's the thing. He might have been stuffed, but that was 1st down. You have 3 more downs in theory to pick up the touchdown. So some of that is on KJ, obviously making a bad decision here with the football. At least he went in with 2 hands. But even then, you take away everything that's special about you athletically, and you go airborne. And there's just so much traffic in there to even try and score. And the second thing here is this bail Texas A&M out, right? Let's say, you try and pound that thing in with, 3 other tries, and they stop you on 4th down. Well, Jimbo Fisher and his really, really rough play calling would have to get out of his own end zone at the 1-yard line, right? So for me, the biggest downside of this is that Texas A&M's offense wasn't really that great. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you. So I know you've already subscribed. I know you've already rang the bell. I want to shout out all the Arkansas fans that have sent me messages saying that you enjoy the channel. Thank you guys so much. We are so close to 1,000 subs, and it's mostly been Razorback fans, but I've had fans from other SEC fan bases. So, yeah, I thought the offensive line was meh, but I also thought that Arkansas' skill position guys left a bunch of yards on the field, which is what Jadon Haselwood told you, okay? This was not the best throw right here by KJ Jefferson. You want to lead this receiver, but at the same time, Haselwood could have kept his feet here as well, and the ball was delivered somewhat on the money, and these yards, that's no less than 5 extra yards, 7-ish, that you lose by not being able to keep your feet. And there were other opportunities that I thought Arkansas's ball carriers could have broken tackles. Obviously, I thought Rocket Sanders was okay. You weren't going to be able to run on a good Texas A&M defense. But this, to me, was the big play, okay? And this was the play right before the fumble by KJ Jefferson, okay? So what Arkansas is doing here is they're running a screen to the left, okay? Now, I'm going to test to see how much you've been paying attention to this video. Remember, this is a team effort. It's not just me. It's you as well, okay? What is very relevant here about a screen to the left? I'm going to let you have an opportunity to answer that. And while you think of that answer, I once again want to say thank you for all the people that have liked the video. I want to shout out, it's funny, this is Jake in Little Rock who sent me a message on Twitter. I really do appreciate that. My best buddy's name is Jake. He lives in Springdale, but still, I appreciate the love. I want to do more shout outs and all that stuff. But the truth is, the screen to the left is very important because, remember early in the video, I said, remember this play. That was what got you your first touchdown. A nice little screen to the left, and Jackson, number 2, made a good cut and scored. The issue here on the screen to the left, okay, this is a well-designed play. Play action fake to the right to get everybody stepping to the right. And the key blocks right here are landers right here. And this offensive lineman has to come all the way over here and get a seal block on 26, okay? And guess what happens? We get it, all right? Not the cleanest, but we get it, all right? So now, the mistake right here by Haselwood was that he tried to cut back on this defender, and Antonio Johnson's one of the best safeties in America for a reason. This was a big mistake, right? So remember, Jackson caught this ball and just took it up the sideline for a TD. Now, this one is a little bit different because, you know, the red zone does compress and you do lose space, but you need your 5-star playmaker here, Haselwood, and he said it, look, you know, we left some yards on the field. You need him right here. Once he gets this football, this just needs to be a race to right here, okay? Just use simple physics right here. This guy who's on this hash has to chase you all the way over here. If you cut back, you have to make him miss, okay? And I think on this cutback, he decided to cut back a little too early, and this allowed Johnson to redirect and make this play, okay? I just think right here, you just got to, it's a race to right here, okay? A lot like how Jackson scored his touchdown earlier. Either way, I felt like the Arkansas ball carriers, like the matchup last year where Traylon Burks just made so many special plays, I thought the Arkansas ball carriers left too many yards on the field, to be quite honest. And it's tough. Texas A&M's got a good group of tacklers. You know, should he have cut back there? Should he have not? I don't know. But as you guys know, on the very next play, it gets stuffed. And that's football. The bottom line, though, is Arkansas just got very unlucky, and now you got to get ready for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I was cheering for Arkansas on this one because I just don't like Texas A&M, and I would have loved to have seen a second loss. And I felt like Jimbo didn't coach a good game. And I know I'm not a Jimbo guy, but man, his players bailed him out yet again. So let me know what you guys think of today's video. I really do appreciate all the love, okay? SEC teams, please quit reaching for the goal line and the pylon or whatever. You're costing your team big time, okay? It is Power Hour SEC. Bam! And tonight, We're doing salmon part 2. Let's go.